Hi, hello everyone. Thank you for coming back to join me today. I'm using my husband's iPad because I'm having issues with my phone, so I'm hoping that this is going to record okay. So I just wanted to do the flip through of my journal, and this is the accordion collaboration that I've done with my friend Amy from Crafty Cat. And I've finally finished it. I think I've had quite a few videos out on this one. Just grabbing my ruler. I made mine a bit differently to Amy. Oh, and just before I do it, I just want to show what I made. I had some bits and snips left over, as I always do at the end of a project. And so I've done a masterboard with mine, some book page, some digitals that I had left over, scraps of. And I've just put them on a piece of card. And I'm kind of thinking that this is the start of another journal. I enjoy using Amy's grungy papers, and I thought this would be a good journal cover if I was to make it into a journal. I think that's quite a cool idea. I would back it with some more card because it's not that sturdy. So I'm going to put that away and maybe use it another time. And I guess I wanted to show it because I think if you use the pieces that you have left over at the end of a project, you can do something. I think it turned out quite cool anyway. So anyway, yes, getting back to my, sorry, I've got to remember where the camera is on this iPad. This is the journal that I've made. I did mine slightly differently. I did masterboards, collaged both sides, and I used all book page for it. Well, no, I used some digitals, I think. And I cut them into size that I wanted to use, which was around 8.5 by 6. And then I joined two together with a piece of fabric down the spine. So the fabric goes onto both, and I stitched it on as well. So for me, that worked really well. So that's what it looks like when it's upstanding. Move it over. I've got the camera is in this corner at the bottom at the minute, so I'm trying different things. So I've got it tied with some like an olive green ribbon. That's my favourite colour, I have to say. Move over, Carol. Most of this I have made with you, but I will take you through it all. So we've got a journal card in the front. I think I have listed previously the kits that I've used for this. So I've used different kits of Amy's, and I've also used Tim Holtz People, and they have a little tuck behind them, and I just put some extra paper on there. And then that opens up. Oopsie daisy. That opens up, and I've got a journal card in there. That's from Amy's. It's either the second-hand store or Deserted. And then I've got a Tim Holtz guy there with a pressure gauge. And that's on a guest check. And then I split mine into one side is a gents, and then the other side is ladies. On this side, I've used the pockets that Amy had, and I've used some of her papers. And I've put journal tags in that I've decorated, so they're all in there. If there's a particular paper that you see that you like and you're not sure where I've got it from, just drop me a message and a rough time in the video, and I'm more than happy to tell you where it is from. That's a book page that I had, and I added some pages, so book page, a tea dye page, a page out of Sherlock Holmes, and one of that's the second-hand store paper. So there's room to write in it. And somebody asked me how I've attached the signatures, how I've attached the extra papers, and I've stitched them in to the fabric as you would a signature. I've just stitched them in. And then there we've got the, that was a masterboard that I cut a circle out of, and I've sat a little Tim Holtz boy there, and that's his dad. So he's gone to sit and wait for his dad when his dad finishes work, I think. And then I've just put a journal card in there. And again, that's from Amy's, it's like, yeah, deserted or either deserted or secondhand store, most of these papers are from. And then when we turn over, I did this as part of the 50 stack challenge. I think it was leisure paper, and it says Dr. Mackenzie on there. I've put a journal card in there, one of Amy's papers from Industrial, and then that ship is from Tim Holtz. And I thought it was, these gentlemen here have gone off on an expedition to find plants on a steamship. So that's the story their backstory, and that just goes in there. That's one of the plants that they've collected from their journey, and then there's just a letter that they've written home in there. So they've had a fine old time. And then this is the company that they're collecting seeds and things for. It's Mall's Catalogue of Seeds. So that's the company that they own and work for, that they're collecting the seeds from. That paper is quite delicate, so I've made that journal card so it just fits. So that goes in there. Again, I've added some more papers here. This is a book that I've got about America in the early 1900s. I think it's late 18, early 1900s. And the paper's in there. I love these guys, putting the train in. And then in here, we did this as part of the 50 stack challenge. I can't remember what it was, but I've got that one. And then I've got this gentleman, or these gentlemen here, that are part of the railroad gang. And this guy here, I don't know if you can see, he's got a pipe in his mouth. And I love the ash down his front. Absolutely fabulous. Reminds me of my granddad. He always had cigarette ash on his waistcoat or on his tank top. And then we turn over and we're at the ladies section. So this is for the ladies. Tim Holtz ladies again there. And then that's a Tim Holtz photo with some ladies on behind. So I think these ladies, this is their mothers. So we've got different sisters here and their mothers. And they're behind there. And that does just fit in. And then here we've got the pocket that I made. Again, I think that was, I did it with you lot. So there's a pocket there on the front and there's a pocket there. Oh, and that's opens up like that. And then these are from Julie at the Old Design Shop, her collage strips. And that fits in there, which then slips into that pocket there. And then when that opens up, we have this, the side here, we've got the house that this gentleman bought and his family that moved in. We've got the two ladies there, and it's got a beautiful rose garden in the back. So that's his wife and his sister. And then that has just got some extra journaling space attached on the back. And then that's the daughters, and they've got a little rabbit, and that fits in there. And again, I've used book page on here. So that's from a book that I've got. That's from Amy's Deserted Add-on, some tea-dyed paper, Amy's Deserted Add-on in there. I think that's from Julie at the Old Design Shop. So the room to write in those. And then just checking that I've got to get used to this new camera angle, I think. And then I attached this with a piece of fabric. So I've stitched it down and I stitched it on, and it's got a little pocket just there. And that just goes in there. And then on the back of that, I did this with you. I think it was in the last video that you've seen. So there's a little pocket just there. There's a little pocket just there. And then there's a pocket there at the side. And I attached the ladies on it with a stamp. And then the lady on that side as well. And they're just Tim Holtz ephemera. And I've just added the stamp and the lady on. And then on this side, we've got the postcards. They are a tight fit, these postcards. So this lady She's out collecting beautiful wildflowers, and I've just put some extra paper on there. And this is a little gift card as a souvenir of what she's been collecting. And then this, it is a bit of a tight fit, this pocket, I will admit, but it's not too bad. And again, that has got some, if it didn't stick, that's got some extra paper on the back as well that can be written on. And then again, it's all about the seeds and the collecting. So the men are off collecting the different plants, and then the ladies are enjoying them. So that goes in there like that. I'm really pleased I added that lady there. And then as I turn it over there, we've got a pocket there, and that's Amy's paper. And I can't think, is it called embroidered collage? I can't remember, but if you ask me, I will tell you. I've used so many different papers, honestly. Again, that's an image from the book that I used, and that again has just some extra paper that it can be written on. So there's quite a lot of space in here to write. Each signature's got 4 sheets of paper, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 16 sides, isn't it? That's right, 16 sides per signature. So that's 64 sides altogether in here. The same book that I used, and again, that's Amy's deserted add-on. So, and again, that's from Julie at the Old Design Shop. I do love how these have all turned out. And then we've got this lady here. So we've got a little journal card here, and that's the middle of a playing card. So I've left it on the back. You can see it's a playing card. And then I've added one of Amy's people of the past. That's an old lady there with a cat, and some splattered music paper, and that fits in there. And then in this one here at the top, this paper is from Julie at the Old Design Shop, and that's one of her collage ephemera papers, and that fits in there. It does fit in there, there we go. And then I put that lady inside that frame, if you remember. And then we're back to the beginning. So that is my take on an accordion journal. Different, I know, from the way that Amy did hers, but that's okay, because it's all about giving you all different ideas. We don't have to do everything the same, do we? And if anybody should be interested in this journal, I'm not going to put it in my Etsy store at the moment. So if anybody is interested in it, and that includes people from the USA, because I understand that we can now send, we can now post out to you. It's all sorted this end. And we can talk about how we do that if you're interested. I do hope that somebody would be, because I really like it. I think it's a lovely little journal. Feels quite chunky as well. So my contact details are below in the description. So if you are interested, just give us a shout. And if you're not interested, that's absolutely fine. I will probably end up listing it in my Etsy at some point when I find out how to reopen it. But I really appreciate you coming to join me. And Amy, I just love doing collaborations with you. And so I look forward to the next time. But take care, everybody. Bye.